Wow. Wow. Hello. Good evening from this side of the world. How are you doing? So nice to have you. I'm so excited to have you right on this broadcast. My name is Ndu David, and it's my pleasure to have you on Deep Conversations. I don't know, have you ever been part of Deep Conversations, or this is the first time you've been part of Deep Conversations? Whichever way, so DEEP is an acronym for daring, entertaining, educative, and of course, passionate. And on Deep Conversations, we always want to have conversations that will be life transforming conversations. Wow, Debbie, it's your first time. Yes. So, we want to have conversations. Debbie, it's your first time, and we are really excited to have you. So we really want our conversations to be as transformative as possible because we're not just having conversations for the sake of having conversations. We're having conversations because we want to see lives transformed. We really want to see lives transformed. And I believe that the conversation we are going to have this evening will really transform lives. So please just do me the favor of sharing this live. I want as many people as possible to be part of this. I want as many people as possible to be a part of this. So just help me share this now. Share this now. Let our community join us. Just share this, please, please, as much as possible. Help me to share this. I want more people to join these conversations because we are going to be talking about something really important today on this live broadcast. We are going to be looking at something that will really make sense for you, and that's dangerous mistakes singles make. Yes, we all make mistakes, and mistakes come from us not having the right information. When you don't have the right information, sure, you're going to get some things wrong and you're going to make mistakes. Some mistakes really are permanent, like they change our lives permanently, and some mistakes can just be forgotten the next day. But whichever way, mistakes do occur, and as much as we can, we want to make sure that we make less of the mistakes. And for a single person, you know, when we get married, it's like two single people are coming together. Each one is coming with his or her own baggage. Each one is coming um with his or her own life. We have at the backstage my sister, Mrs. Chibuama. Okay, so each one is coming with his own baggage, his own. So, and I will always get to say that marriage is less about people, it's less about passion, and it is more about patterns. So many people believe that, okay, you must have heard it said that love is not enough. And I always say, what people say when they say love is not enough is that passion is not enough. So it is less about the butterflies in the belly, it's less about the people you marry. Because one person can get married to five different persons and get divorced five different times. So it is more about the patterns. And the patterns may have been with you for a very long time. Some of them date back to when we were kids. The pattern of always being domineering, you want to make sure that everybody is under you. It doesn't start in adulthood, it starts right in kindergarten. You see yourself, you want to always be at the top of the park. You want to make sure that you're the one leading everyone. Nobody leads you. The pattern of unforgiveness, it starts right from when we were kids. The pattern of being judgmental, the pattern of arrogance, not being able to say, okay, I'm sorry. So these patterns will always make a mess of relationship. That's the truth. And it is more about patterns and less about passion. Because when people get married, I don't think that any two persons will come together and say, we are not in love, but we just want to get married. When people want to get married, they're getting married because they believe that this person is going to make their life better. This person is going to make their life easier. No one goes into marriage and expects that let's just marry. Next 5 years will be divorced. Except it's an arrangement, that's something they want to get from it. But in the real sense of it, when people want to get married, they believe that they are going to be in this marriage for a very long haul. But it doesn't always go that way. People get married and people get out of their marriages. So, and it is usually about patterns because these patterns may not be seen when we are single. It may not be seen. You may not even know your own patterns. You may not know that what is happening, like it has been happening in your life. The first relationship you had, that is the reason you ended that relationship. Then you had another relationship, you thought it's going to go away, but you still have the same pattern, and everyone keeps complaining about the same thing. Even before you started having relationships, your sisters have been complaining, your parents have been complaining about the same thing, usually about the same. Everyone is just talking about the same things, and you can't help it. You keep on doing them many times because, first of all, we have not even realized that this is a pattern. We have not realized that it is the same thing that is causing us problems in every relationship. Number two, some people believe that this is how I am, this is how I was made. That's not how you were made. That is how circumstances, that is how the things you have gone through, that's how traumatic situations that you have been through may have shaped you to become. So some people believe that this is how I am, it is permanent. No, it is not permanent. If you become self-aware enough and you realize that, oh, this is not working for me, this is not working in my relationship, you can choose to consciously begin to change those patterns, because any of those patterns is the mistakes that we talk about, dangerous mistakes that we talk about. And today I want us to focus on a particular kind of mistake that I've seen singles make over and over again, especially ladies. I've seen our sisters make this mistake so many times. They get into marriage and it's as if they got into marriage and they're not even ready. Like, they got into marriage, and just imagine that we came on this live, and immediately we started this live. You see me, I'm trying to put on this shirt. I'm just trying to see if I could button my put on my buttons and all that, do my buttons and all that. So it's as if they get into marriage and are not prepared. They did not expect the challenges that face them immediately they get into marriage. They are surprised, like, I didn't know this was expected of me. I don't know if anyone has seen people who get into marriage that way and they're wondering, like, I'm supposed to do this one too. Am I the one that's supposed to do this one? I thought I was just coming to help, you know. So what anyone want to look at today is that many ladies pause their lives. They put their lives on pause, pausing their lives while waiting for love. So because they are waiting for love, they're waiting to get married, they just put everything else in their life on hold. So their academics is on hold. No, there's no point. Women education ends in the kitchen. There's no point even going to school. You'll be surprised to know that there are ladies who still believe that there's no point going to school. When I get married now, if my husband likes, he can send me to school. If your husband likes, he can send you to school. Like, then some will say, no, there's no point even doing masters. I've done first degree. As you see me now, I will not read anything again. I've done first degree. They put their lives on hold. They put their career on hold. They put their business on hold. This got into my mind one day when I went to my mother's shop. My mom has a shop in the market in Port Harcourt. So I went to her shop one day, and she has this neighbor. And the neighbor was very wonderful woman, lady. She's single. I really appreciate her. And I was just looking at her like this. She's very beautiful and very industrious. She has a really wonderful business that is really booming, and she's doing very well. But she said something that amazed me. She said something. She said that I said, I cannot wait for one man to just come and marry me. Let me just close this business and go and rest. Are you serious? Like, she believes that when she gets married, the first thing she's going to do is that marriage is going to give her rest from her hustles. So she's going to quietly close this business down. Then she will go home and rest while her husband will begin to take care of her. And you'll be surprised to know that this is how a lot of ladies think. This is how a lot of ladies, not let me not say a lot of ladies, this is how some ladies think. Because I know that we have really wonderful ladies who are really forward thinking and very progressive, So, but some ladies just believe that when I get married, my husband is going to take care of me. There will not be any need for me to work again. My suffering is over. I will just relax like a queen and enjoy. So it is really a problem. It's really a very dangerous mistake because first of all, when they get into marriage, they are surprised. They don't even believe that it would have been like this. They are really, really surprised. And I will be having this conversation with my sister and my friend, pharmacist Chibuamam Ilechuku, right? That's the pronunciation of the word. I hope I have not messed up her name. Hello, ma'am. Good evening. So nice to see you from this end. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Good evening.
Hope I didn't mess up your name.
Hmm.
I was saying
No, you did
Ilechuku.
well.
That's Ilechuku, right? Okay, I didn't.
No, electrical. Yeah, you did well. Like good job.
Ilechuku, yeah, yeah, yeah. So pharmacist Chibuamam
Mhm.
Ilechuku is a pharmacist with over 10 years of practice experience. I like the way you used to say that yourself. Or maybe you don't. I've not seen you say it before, but I have seen you write it before. I've read it from one of your posts. You
Okay.
say, I have 10 years experience in this, that. How do you say? Just will you just like to say it to us again, please?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, first of all, before I go into saying that, thank you very much for having me. I was just listening to you backstage and I was like, okay, so let's talk singles, let's talk married, and let's talk about this, deep conversation. So, yeah, pharmacist, pharmacognosist. I've got a master's degree as well in pharmacognosy, which is the area of pharmacy that deals with drugs and treatment from natural origin. Yes, I've got over 10. You can make that 11 years of clinical experience across, different aspects of practice, clinical, hospital, regulatory, all that. And currently, I run my company, and the brand is Hypertension Africa. So, where we work with people suffering from high blood pressure, we help them to reverse it and maintain great numbers every day using lifestyle based high BP reversal methods.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really love what you do at Hypertension Africa. I must say this. I really love what you do at Hypertension
Okay.
Africa. I've not seen anyone doing something like this, at least not in Nigeria. I've not seen anyone doing what you are doing. Health coaching to our people is not like it is anywhere else. No, in Nigeria, I don't think we have health coaches in Nigeria, but so that will really mean that you are really a pioneer in this area, and you're doing a great job. I really appreciate you. But today, I don't want us to talk about hypertension. I want us to talk
Yeah.
about marriage, about relationship, and of course, you are married with how many kids now?
Two kids,
Two. Wow,
two
two
boys.
beautiful kids. Woo! Two boys. That's really wonderful. Two soldiers.
Thank
That's really
you.
great.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are talking about the mistake that many people do. I believe some men will do that also, but I think it is more on the female side that they pause their lives while they are waiting for love. So I really want to get married and I should put my life on pause. I should put my life on pause. But can we just start by talking about this lady I shared about who happens to be my mother's neighbor um, at,
Okay.
at her workplace? And she said
Okay.
to me, she said, not to me, she was talking to another lady, and she said that she cannot wait. She has a very wonderful business. I'm just imagining that you were running Hypertension Africa before you got married, and you were just believing that once you get married, they're going to shut down Hypertension Africa. so that your husband can take care of you. So what do you think like about this lady and that top line that she has, that once she gets married, she's going to close down her business and be taken care of. You know how we say it? I want to be taken care of.
Yeah, I want to be taken care of. Oh, yeah, well, I'll react to that. That's really a very interesting point of view. I guess that's why we're having this conversation, so that
Yeah,
I hope that everyone who listens to this disabusing their mind of that kind of thought pattern of let me pause my life, or the moment I get married, then, especially if you're a woman, the moment I get married, then I have to stop every other thing and then be taken care of. Of course, we all want to be taken care of. We all want the baby girl lifestyle, small girl with a big God or big man or big husband kind of lifestyle. Um, However, so here's how I would like to look at it. It all boils down to the person. So I believe why we're having this conversation is for women to maybe think again about themselves. So I'll speak about this woman's case from my own experience, right? Or from what I've seen or I've witnessed. So for this woman who is waiting for a man to come and save her from hard work, I don't really know what that means. What does it mean for a man to save you from hard work so you'll be taken care of? If that means that everything that you're going to eat, you're going to wear, you're going to ever own, maybe you want to own an iPhone 14, or you want to you want to own Brazilian hair, human hair, and it's all going to be on the man. Well, that's why I said it boils down to what the woman, but what are you like, what's your identity at the end of the day? Do you want to be lost, like you don't want to exist anymore without a man? We've heard stories of, God forbid something happens to the man. So how about you're being taken care of? What's that, right? So you want to think again. Are you really living your life to be dependent, or are you living your life to be interdependent? So I prefer the latter of being interdependent, where, of course, certain areas of the man I'm dependent on, certain areas of me is dependent on me, right? That's really what I would say. So I'll share this quote that I heard. I heard it a long time ago when I was younger, and I was walking. Then I grew up in Lagos, and so there is this, there are things called canals in Lagos where it's very big water channel. And for you to go over it, you have to cross on these plank kind of makeshift bridges, very unstable, but you just have to pass. And so I was going past it with, one of my friends from lessons. Then I think it was after secondary school. And I was really scared. It was a thin line. I had to walk this length. It could have been what, maybe 6 meters or something. And I was scared, I was shaking. And you know what the person behind me said, a friend? He said something, and that thing has never left me. He said, remember you're a human being first before you are female. Remember you are a human being first before you're female. And then I stopped and I said, okay, so what does that mean? And it's like, if you're shaking here now and you're saying, because I'm a woman, I can't really pause, I can't really, and you fall into this kind of, what people are going to say is, hey, person don't fall inside canal, person don't fall inside canal. That they will first of all say, now person fall inside canal. Before they will ask, hey, I'm a woman. So that means that is like an indirect way of saying, hey, guy, you better comport yourself and pass over this thing, right? But why that statement has lived with me is that anything I set my mind to do, I remember I'm a human being first before I'm a woman. So also for that lady, if that lady has thought of herself like everything I'm doing is as a human being first on this earth. So we all have our roles to play. We all have our destiny to fulfill. We all have something somewhere, a quota to contribute somewhere on this earth, right? So you're a human first. You're here for a reason. And so if you're thinking in terms of that, you're a human first before you ever become woman. So also, I would build my life before I now think of, okay, if I want to get into a relationship and a marriage, then I'm doing this from a place of right before I'm even female and then trying to get married off. So that's how I would respond to that. I hope that I hope that people seeing this feel, start to get some light bulb moments. I would also share this thing. I know society also has a role to play in all this, right? Do you want me to keep going, or you want to say something about what I just
No,
shared?
okay, okay, really, I like what you just shared. Actually, when you talked about that you don't want to live a life of being totally dependent on someone, but you want to
Mm-hmm.
live a life of interdependence. That means, and that's really what marriage should be like, where the man depends on the woman and the woman also depends on the man. So we are
Yeah.
interdependent. I am being a support to you, and you are being a support to me, and not just one person is carrying the whole burden. It's not supposed to be structured that way. And this really played out even in my own parents' marriage. You know, uh, it happened that at a point, yes, my dad went to the village, married his village girl, and brought her to Port Harcourt, and it's really a very beautiful time for them. They gave birth to us, and he was the breadwinner. He was the only one who was earning money in the house. But she had to also start her own business. At the time she started her business, we didn't see that he was doing very well. He was not like he was very rich, but he was comfortable. But it got to a point where I think it wasn't a Nigerian company. It was an international company he was working for at that time. So, but this company at some point packed up and they left Nigeria. That meant he had to be unemployed. Throughout the period he was unemployed, my mom had to cover for everything. So I'm just thinking how interesting it would have been for us at that season if she wasn't doing anything. It would have really been
Yeah.
a hell of a season for us. I believe it would have really been a hell of a season for us. But because she had something, she had a business that was going on, she was able to cushion the effect and she helped him start his own business. Then later on, just I think a few years, not up to 10 years later, it happened that um, the shops were being demolished. I think she had quite some shops that were demolished at that period, quite some outlets of her business that were demolished at that period because the government of the day was expanding the roads and it was really affecting so many parts. It was as if her business has stopped, her business has come to an end and all that. Now he was strong. He had to help her restart. So
Beautiful. I love that.
I have seen this interdependence play out in my
Play
own
out.
family. And I cannot imagine that him as a man, when he lost his job, he remains that way. Like, okay, I've lost the job since she's working, maybe. But this is exactly what some men do also. This is what some men do also. Okay, I had a job, the job I had, job came to an end. Now I just have to depend. I have to be dependent. It's not my fault. Actually, when I married you, I was working, right? And so it's not my fault now. No, now, there are genuine times when people really want to work, but things have not worked out the way they would want it to work out. I understand those aspects. But the aspect of someone not making efforts at all, someone not making efforts at all. But then we are still talking about singles here because those who are married are already married. We're talking about singles
Yeah.
who are making these mistakes at this point in time. Like as we are speaking, they are making the mistakes right now. Um, they
Yeah.
are wishing that they're going to get married next year, maybe in 2 years' time. They are still waiting for love. They are still dating, but they've not given so much thought to the fact that I need to get financially stable. No. Maybe the man
Yeah.
is thinking I need to get financially stable before I get married because he believes that he's going to be the head of the family, he's going to be the breadwinner. But the woman believes that someone else is going to be the breadwinner. They will say, I'm just coming as a helper. And what they mean by being a helper is that they are going to be washing clothes, they are going to be
Cooking
uh,
food.
yes,
Cooking.
one of my mentors will say, Adesika will say that they are the burner of the children and the cooker of the food, so to say, in
So
quotes. Yes. But
yeah, that's
now, what? how do you think we got here? Because I don't. It's not an isolated thing. There are many people who believe who think this way. So, and it is in this part of our world. It is in Africa. It is in Nigeria that we get to see this more. So, how do you think we came here? How did it become a culture? I think the culture is phasing out. That season is passing. But how do you think we got here? Do you think we need to
Uh,
blame the ladies, or we need to blame society, or we need to blame what? Who do we blame? Who do we apportion this blame to right now? If we really want to apportion the blame,
who do we apportion the blame to? So
who do we
I
hold
believe
responsible?
that who do we hold responsible? I believe that if we would blame it on society, I feel like society should be blamed for it, right? What it's almost like what we see, what we hear. Also, family setting, family. I think at the family level mostly, I will personally blame it on the family setting, because ultimately it's what you're exposed to growing up that shapes and forms a lot of that helps you shape and form a lot of these ideologies or belief systems. So I believe that family plays a role. However, beyond apportioning blame, like it's easy to say, oh, it's this person, it's that person, or it's the other person without even taking full responsibility. So if you're a single seeing this, and maybe you're in your 25 now, you're thinking this and you're like, yeah, it's my mom, it's what they told me, so therefore I'm like this is how I am, this is how I want my life, right? You might actually be doing yourself a disservice of thinking it's someone else. Instead of saying, okay, yes, I heard it, but I imbibed it. I believed it. I took it up. I'm responsible for me. So one of the things that one of the greatest tenets that I have, I uphold, which has also brought me here, is that tenet of taking responsibility for every single thing in my life. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult to say, if you give the responsibilities to the other person, it's easier for you. So like, yeah, it's not my fault. But if you take full responsibility, then you can do something about it. And so, yes, your family may have contributed. Yes, your teachers may have contributed. So I'll give you a personal example. In secondary school, I went to an all-girls secondary school, and it was a boarding school. And our teachers, used to call me, teach us all those great stuff. But this particular teacher, I won't mention his name. He's a man. We didn't have a lot of male teachers, but he was a man. And he came in that day and he said to us, you know what? The place of the woman is in the, he didn't say it was the kitchen, but he said, all these things we're doing here, we're grooming you people, because it was actually a mission school. My parents said me that they wanted me to, mission school was very good in those days. So we're grooming you all to grow up and be good wives to your husband and take care of your home. At the end of the day, the best profession for you as a woman is just for you to be a teacher. So that when your husband goes to work, you go and teach. When you go and teach, at the end of your teaching, your children, maybe you're having your children, you go home with your children and go and take care of your children in the house. This was what this man said to us in class. And yes, you're laughing. And to be honest, I was very impressionable. I was definitely under 16 because I was there between 11 and 16. And so this was what he told us. Now listen, let me even tell you the more interesting part, because this really was an issue. So he now said, for those of you now that may feel that you get married and your husband is rich, all those ones, you people will say you want to become pharmacists. He mentioned the word pharmacist. You want to become a pharmacist. And then you now marry your husband. Your husband now said, maybe your husband has money. Your husband now builds a pharmacy for you. And now put glass to show that your own is very good, right? And put a glass all over that place. Do you know what's going to happen? When people now want to buy drugs, they'll be like, don't go to that one that there's glass, or those people's own will be expensive. Go to that one down the road that they'll go and patronize patients' medicine stores. They will even come to your own. So it's better for you to just go and become your teacher, get, forget all those things. This was what this man said to us. I'm telling you. Now let me now tell you how this thing affected me. I wrote about it recently when I wrote, I think it was World Pharmacist Day, September 25. I wrote about it, but I didn't go into this detail about this backstory. When I finished secondary school and we're trying to find a course for me to study, initially I spoke with my parents. If you go to that thread, you'll see my father's comments there. My father even made a very long post. I'm not even reply to his comment. And he was saying, I know I was one of the people that wanted you to be a medical doctor. He wanted me to be a medical doctor. So the first time I wrote my jam, and of course, because I was straight A student, everybody expects straight A student go and become a medical doctor, right? I was a straight A student, and then they wanted me to be a doctor. When I said, I didn't want this. Eventually, they were not saying, yeah, do pharmacy. I refused. Everybody was telling me, go and study. I said, no. Why? Because of what that teacher had told us. Like, you better don't become pharmacy. When you now put glass house there, nobody will come to your place. He was with a lot of fraud in my godparents. Everybody was asking, what is it? And I opened up to them and told them that they said this pharmacy, nothing come out. So please let me just go and do it. Can you imagine that? So yes, society, even the teachers have a role to play. Family, everybody is telling you one thing or the other. You're just a woman, don't aim high, just do this, do this. But eventually they were able to convince me. My godparents, one of them told me, see, this pharmacist is doing this pharmacist, don't worry, do pharmacy, you do it. And that's how I'm here today, right? So imagine if I'd allowed those people to stifle that dream. So I believe
Mm.
everybody has a
So
role to
what?
play, but ultimately,
So what saved you? What saved you was the fact that you had parents who did not agree with that teacher. That
yeah.
teacher would have really done massive damage. Like maybe you would not be doing what you are doing right now because he would have put the thought in your head. If you have parents who thought the way that this teacher was thinking, that's what would have happened. When you go to school, you hear that you don't have to dream high, you just have to be a teacher. Meanwhile, it's really a beautiful thing to be a teacher. It's really a
To be
beautiful
a
thing to
teacher,
be a
of
teacher.
course, of course, of course.
It's really a really wonderful. But he was not saying that as with teaching in mind as something really great. He was saying that with the impression that this is how far you can go. You can just be a teacher, so to say,
So that
like
you can
something
only take care of
not
your
really
children,
something that
and
should
that's
be
all.
respected, and you have that, and that's how far you cannot go beyond that. So if you also had parents who believed the same thing, who told you the same things, who agreed with him, you wouldn't have thought of anything else.
True
That
that.
probably would have been where you will remain. But because
True.
your parents didn't agree with this that you have come back with from school, that they have to be that struggle. And thank God they overcame. And in their overcoming, we have overcome right now because we wouldn't have had you maybe talking to us about what you are talking to us right now. All the persons who have benefited, all the people who have benefited from what you do as Hypertension Africa, maybe would not have been able to benefit
Yeah.
the way they have, right? So that's just so.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are blaming. We are seeing that society has a lot of roles to
A
play
lot more.
because yes, because when we go about, we want to seek meaning, we want to seek direction from the people around us, from friends, from family. We want to we okay. Dr. Charles is saying that this is a great teaching here. Oh, that's wonderful. So
Thank you.
we want to get meanings from what's happening around us, from people, because if everyone around us feels that this is not right, we may just want to forego it and believe that it is not right, it's not good enough, this is not what I should be doing. We want to align with what the society sees as good, right? So if society has said that this is there is no need, there is no real need for a woman to aspire to want to do great, then really there is no need. The child will want to remain, so we'll say, okay, this is it. And
Okay, let
culture
me quickly
also,
add
right?
something.
Okay, go ahead, please.
So I wanted to add something quickly. Just came to my mind now as you spoke. Yes, society is pushing. Some people in society are pushing the narrative of woman just be subdued, just be subdued. But I love us to look at other great examples of women who are doing great things. And
Okay.
that should inspire us to know that, I mean, if this person can do it, so can I. If this other person could do it, so can I. So instead of just looking at the women who are not doing anything, who are just being taken care of, can we also get our our children, our female, our girl child, then even we are single, even single ladies, can you also look forward? Can you also look at other women who are doing great things, even as single and married, and be like, because you still need to start somewhere. So you can even start that great thing as a single woman. I think we talked. I think we also wanted to touch on this. Start that great thing as a single person and carry it on even through marriage, not like putting your life on pause and then marriage even just stops everything you ever wanted to do. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
touch on that too.
Yes. I made that post in the morning. I made a post about this in the morning earlier today, and someone commented. She said that this is exactly how what her dad believes. Her dad believes that a woman doesn't need to have any real career till she gets married. So for a woman, her life begins at marriage. So when she gets married, her husband will decide what she will do. You can imagine that. So so
I know.
but to be fair to the old man, let's just be fair to the old
Okay.
man. Um,
And there's a
this
place for all
these
that.
beliefs these beliefs have have been there all along. This is what they were exposed to. This is what people in their generation believed. You understand? So it is easy for them to also adopt and believe that, and they have seen it work. But but let's think about it this way. I always say that the generation that our parents and grandparents lived in have passed. Not that it is passing, their generation has passed. So many things that
Exactly.
worked in their generation will not work in our generation because the times are different, the challenges that we are facing are different,
Economy.
everything is different. Like what we had at the time of our parents and our grandparents, women got married before they are 20. At 18, 19, 20, they are already married. Some at 16, they are married.
Yeah.
So if you say that a husband should determine what the wife is going to do, it's very easy to get that done because at 18, she probably, an 18 years old woman probably has not even settled for a career to say, okay, I want to
Yeah.
pursue this. Yes.
Sure.
I believe that as a teenager, I had so many things I wanted to do in my head. I wanted to be a barber at some point. I wanted to be a rapper at some point. I had so many things I wanted to do. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a pilot. So at 18, a lady may still be thinking, okay, what? And if she gets married at that point, it's very easy. But right now, people get married at 25, people get married at 30, people get married at 35. So are we saying that a lady should not be doing anything till she's 35 if she doesn't get married at 35? Is that what we're saying? What do you think about that? She should just put her life on pause, like
No
do
way.
nothing till we get married. So if she doesn't get married at, okay, what if she doesn't get married at 40?
Good. So she would have been waiting all her life. That's sad.
You see.
I hope not. No, no,
So
no, 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 no.
so
I, in fact, some of my friends come to mind, like practical examples, right? You know, even okay, well, I started my master's even before I got married. I started my master's before I got married. I just, because you just have to keep moving. Life keeps you have to keep moving. You're always gonna celebrate your birthday. You're always gonna be growing older, and you want to make each year count. You want to make each year you're on earth count. So you should never ever. I think that should be the greatest takeaway for every single one here. I think the biggest mistake we're really going all around on is, should you pause your life? Never pause your life just because of marriage. Never. I have my best friend. never paused her life. Like the moment we were done with school, we both had the plans. Hey, we're going to relocate, and she actually relocated. The moment we were done with NYSC, she moved. She moved. She left the country. She went there. She did a master's. She started practicing. She never put her life on hold. I got married before she did, but it's fine. She still had a career. She was doing well for herself, but eventually she's married, right? So what if she had stayed back and folded her arms and like, I'm waiting for a man to come and marry me before I decide whether I want to go abroad? Well, I don't know whether she would have still made it there. I have friends that we did masters together. They were not married, but today they're married. They never put their lives on hold. And I feel like if you keep moving, and thank you for all that. I think there was someone that was commenting on them, factors for, maybe you can touch on that, factors affecting, the question we just handled before. So don't put your life on hold because you just have to keep moving. And if you keep moving, you would even be an asset to the man. So I know this particular mentor of ours is like a family mentor. And when one of the men in the family were trying to get married, you know what he told the man? He told him, don't marry any young girl that doesn't have a job. Don't marry any young girl that doesn't have all these fresh gadgets or students. He spoke vehemently against it and said, marry a woman who already has a job, who has a career, who is doing well for herself. And so that when you marry this woman, both of you are building together. And I think the world is even changing in that direction now. Everybody is looking for what are you bringing to the table? So if you're still a woman trying to fold your hands and waiting for a man that is coming to save you, you might be surprised that the men are not also looking for a woman they're trying to save. Because when a man even brings a woman now and the woman is almost looking like a liability to him, his family is also asking questions like, what is this woman doing? So are you the one that's going to be giving her money to buy earrings, to buy soap, to buy tampon, to buy... No, now, no, now. Women to think now. Men too. I believe now, even with the economy and basically everything happening around, everyone is looking for stability. So if you're a woman and you're growing your life, you're growing your career, you're growing your business, you're growing your calling, you're living your best life. Even the men who come to you are also coming to you because from that position of, hey, I like what you're doing, and I know that I would, we're going to be able to build something even huge together. And I believe that everyone should. I would love to see the comments. Maybe you can ask the people who are joining us so far about what they think about this. I hope that people are beginning to have
Okay,
that shift. Yeah.
okay. What do you think about it? I want to hear what you think also. I want to display that. I want us to just share together. So let me see you at the comment section. Then what we're talking about, this is how they say it. They say that if a lady, if okay, let me say it in pigeon. If woman go school too much, no go see husband marry. If you buy motor, no go see husband marry. If you too get money, no man go gree marry you. What I'm trying to say is that you can actually get overqualified to be married. Like you
Yeah.
maybe if you go to school, maybe you get a master's, maybe men will not want to marry you. There are people who
Yeah.
still believe this, that if you go to school, men will not want to marry you. If you do what again?
If you buy a
If you
land,
buy a
if you
car,
have a car,
yes,
if
if
you
you
buy
have
a
money,
car, they're gonna believe. If you
there are
have
people who
money,
but to be fair to those who think that it is true, but
okay.
they have truth. They have truth. It is not like if you go to school, if you have money, if you buy a car, you buy a land, they are not going to marry you. No. But
Mm-hmm.
there are men who can no longer marry you. There are
Better.
men who have been disqualified. Just all those men who have low
Better.
self-esteem, all those men who are easily intimidated, men who have a lot of
Mm-hmm.
insecurities, the the more no, the higher you climb, the faster you lose them because they will not even look your direction. They will be so if you are saying that the reason you don't want to go to school, the reason you don't want to do anything with your life, the reason you don't want to start your business is because you want this man to marry you. invariably you are subscribing that you want to marry a man who has insecurity.
Yeah. Love that.
That is
Love how
not,
you put it.
let's say we're talking business now. That's not your customer. That shouldn't be your customer.
That's not a customer,
If you
please.
want, if you want to do business, you want to, yeah, there's something in the Bible. It says that seest thou a man diligent in his business. He said he is going to stand before kings and not
Yeah.
mean men.
Yeah.
So it's either you are going to serve kings or you are going to serve mean men. And the kind of person you serve will determine how far you're going to go, right? So let's say it this way. I don't think there are people who said, okay, I want my son to go to school so that he will become a driver. Like let him just get a degree in driving so he can become a driver. Many persons will not wish that their children will become drivers. So they want their children to become doctors, lawyers, engineers, you know how it
Yes.
goes.
Mm-hmm.
But but do you know that the driver to the president is not an ordinary driver?
Okay.
He's a driver, but the person he's serving changes the whole atmosphere about what he's doing.
Okay.
Yes. So it's either you are serving kings or you're serving mean men, and it depends on your diligence. So
Mm-hmm.
should I also say if a woman is diligent enough, she is going to marry a king and not a mean man. So by the time
Mm-hmm.
you're saying, I don't want to do better for my life, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do
Yeah.
this because, and the
Because
reason
I
I don't
want
want to
to.
do
Okay.
all this is because I want to still, I don't want to intimidate men. The man that will be intimidated is a man that has insecurities. The truth is, okay, that means even after getting married, you still dare not climb higher because he's
Mm-hmm.
going to look
Mm-hmm.
for every means to subdue you, and
Mm-hmm.
any attempt to climb, his insecurities will push up because this is who he
Yeah.
has been. I started this by saying that it is less about passion and more about patterns. So if he has this
Yeah.
pattern of insecurities that makes him want to make sure that anybody around him is going to be under him, then even after, no, because many times we just want to get married. We're not thinking about staying in the marriage. Let's be on record that I got married, right? So you get married, then you say you want to do your masters, and he's telling you that you can never do your masters because he believes that once you do your masters, he can no longer control you. And for him, control is everything. He cannot control you, then the marriage will not
Mm-hmm.
hold. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
kind of man you want to marry. So we
Yeah.
have established that really, um, the higher you climb, your pool, your dating pool, your those who you will be available to get married to will reduce. But that is because the low lifers will be cut off. The men with insecurity will be cut off. There are people you can no longer be available to because you have raised the bar.
Raise the bar.
You have raised the bar. You want to say
At
something
this
to
point.
about this?
Yeah, so
Yes.
yes, I'm totally for raising the bar. I'm totally for raising the bar because it's really important. I mean, if a woman is going to do great in life, support usually counts. If you look at these great women who are doing great things, they have the support of their husbands, and their husbands are actually pushing them forward, to do
Yeah.
great things. So that's really cool. I feel like at this point we should also talk to the men, to even the single men, to also be open to the success of their wives and to be ready to support the success of their wives. Knowing fully well that the success of your wife is really your own success. Like in Igbo land, right? There's this thing that they call the Igbo name for wife is Oriaku, which means generally in Igbo land, when they see a wife of a man, if a man is rich, it's the wife you will see. You will see the riches on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not even the man. The man might dress anyhow, but you see the wife. That means that, so like if we want to extrapolate the meaning of that, It means that a woman's success it really comes back to the man. If your wife is soaring, it's your pride. It's like, oh, my wife is doing that. It's like bragging rights. Like, that's my wife now. It's my wife that is doing all these things. So you should so don't ever feel intimidated by marrying a woman who is doing great things on your wife is the manager of the bank, or your wife is doing this, or your wife is leading or pioneering this thing. If anything, push the woman, because at the end of the day, she's still young. If she gets a car in the office, you'll be happily drive it like, hey, that's my wife's car. It's her car. So even the single men as well should not get intimidated by the success of a woman. Just up your own game too, and then I think that will really help us to build this kind of you know interdependent relationships we talked about we talked about when we started. So I think that's something for men to take away from here because it looks like we've just been hammering on women, women, women. Okay, so but the men still
But
have
there are
their
some women that are unpushable. There are some women that when you begin to talk about
that
like
want
what we're
to
talking about now,
yeah.
for them it is difficult for them to handle. Like you're telling them, it's as if you're insulting them if you tell them that they should work. They feel like maybe you're just an incompetent man. You don't want to take care of me. That is why you're asking me to go and work. Why should I work? There's some women who believe that, and it can be really challenging. But okay, let's talk about this now. Let's talk about the challenges of getting into marriage and you've not figured out anything about your life. Some persons get married and they said, okay, when I get married, I'm going to start. When I get married, I'm going to start. I will do it in my husband's house. I will do it in my husband's house. Now, when you get married, for many persons, because really, when we get married, for many persons, for many marriages, um, they are low on finance. You understand?
Yeah.
The man may at that point not have all the money they need to cater for
Mm-hmm.
everything that they need because they're going to maybe the house he was living in was is small, so he has to move to a bigger house right now so accommodate that.
Mm-hmm.
They want to start having kids, and you may see a situation where this woman is at home because now she has not figured out anything, so she has to now begin to figure out what her life will be like. This is the time for us to start figuring out, okay, what am I going to do? Should I start selling bra on my WhatsApp status? Should I start?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with all those, but I feel this is my thoughts that it's better you should have started that before you got married. If you already started that before you got married, coming into the marriage, it will just be a continuation of something that you are already doing. To not be like um 1 month after your wedding, you are at home, your husband wakes up, goes to work, comes back, meets you watching Netflix. He goes out, watches football with his friend, comes back, you're still watching Netflix or Z World. The next day, wakes up in the morning, he goes to work, he comes back, you're watching Netflix every day. At the end of the month, you cannot even subscribe for the Netflix that you're watching. And this man is getting upset like because he had some money before he got married, and the money he had was able to take care of him, maybe spare some cash. But right now he has a new okay, before he got married, maybe he used to send money, but the money he should send needs to be by choice. He chose to send this money. But now it is dawning on him that he has a new challenge, he has a new responsibility. And now it's not as if he can choose not to give. He must have to give, he must have to take care of her. And he's feeling like she's not contributing anything. It's difficult for me. What and for her, sincerely, she really wants to do something at this point, but she doesn't know where to start. Then they have another challenge. They want to start having babies. If the babies are going to come, they're going to need more money. Sometimes the man is saying, "Let us wait. I don't have all the money. Let us wait before we get pregnant." And the woman is
But
saying,
the
"We must
woman
get
wants to
pregnant
have a
now."
baby
Yes,
because
she really wants to
her
have
friend she wants to have a baby. She wants to become mother.
in Nigeria. We have people who are counting for
They're
you from the day
counting
you get
months for you.
from your wedding night. They're counting 9 months for you. You should have a baby. We have in-laws who are waiting to know if you're barren or not. So people want to see things,
Wow.
right? They want you to have a baby at this point in time. So is it not better that you would have started? Because even okay, even if you want to start having babies now,
The pregnancy takes its toll on
immediately,
you.
yes, immediately you get pregnant. Nobody wants to employ a pregnant person because very soon you're going to take
Story of my
maternity
life.
leave. Nobody wants to nobody wants to employ a pregnant woman,
Oh,
right?
I was
And
a pregnant
you can't
woman.
st- you can't start your business at that point in time.
Because your body is just messed up. You can't even think straight.
Yes.
That's your first,
So
ideally, your first time.
after 9 months, you have the baby, right? But now you're
Yeah.
nursing. You can't look for a job because you're nursing, and you cannot also start
Mm-hmm.
your business because you're nursing, right? Then after a while, you get pregnant again. So I've
Again.
seen ladies who they get pregnant, they nurse, they get pregnant, they nurse, they get pregnant, they nurse. So they wake up at 40 to find out that they, they don't have a career, they don't have a business. If
You
anything
don't
happens
have
to
a
the husband
job.
now, they are going to suffer, they don't have a job. And at 40, you have been out of school for more than 10 years. You're going for an interview, and somebody's asking you, what have you done with the 10 years? No experience? No, we
Mm-hmm.
want somebody who has 7 years experience. But for the 7 years, the only experience you have is that you have been, which is a good thing anyway. You've been nursing babies, which is a good thing. But you've not started your career. Okay, so let me just bring it to you. Did you start Hypertension Africa before you got married?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Okay, so
I did after I
and
got married.
you did after you got married. So
Mm-hmm.
also, how was that earlier period of marriage like? Well, what were you doing at that time? Let me start from there.
Okay, so what was I doing at the time? So, you were saying
You don't
something
want
where
to
you
talk
asked
about
me
it?
question. No, it's fine. I can. I can talk about
Okay.
it. I can talk about it because I mean, I hope that my story can inspire a woman out there. Um, so no, I didn't start Hypertension Africa, initially. When you were talking about, you get married, pressures, you have finances. I think this is like typical of, young families, young people. Because I mean, when you get married young, you don't even have all that stash of money somewhere. You have to literally start from somewhere. I got married after my master's. During my master's, okay, during my master's. So I didn't even have income at the time. I was schooling. I was schooling. Although I had stipends, I was doing it on a scholarship, UI scholarship, university scholarship. So that kind of, but I mean that was just stipends. It wasn't like income. So obviously, but because I feel like because I didn't plan, I didn't hope to just fold my hands. So after I got married, obviously everything was still on my husband and all that. But somewhere in between, then after the masters, I had to, I started thinking of, hey, I need to make babies. So I need to make babies. Maybe I don't know this woman and I only book she didn't read. I actually had a nasty experience once where I went for this particular meeting. I went for this particular meeting back home with the women and all that. And I had someone throw that shade at me because I didn't, I didn't get pregnant immediately after marriage and all that. And do you know that this woman, so they were sharing, all these young mothers, they were sharing things, like all these biscuits that they share to young mothers because all those women that was all married around the same time, they all came with babies, 1 year old and all that. And I didn't come with my own baby. And they were sharing things and the woman got to my own son and that woman had the mouth to tell me, "Oh, my dear, okay, keep reading very well." Oh, can you imagine that? That was what the woman said to me because I didn't come with my own baby to the meeting. And I'm like, no way. No way. I'm never coming back here. Like that was hell. Well, you can imagine that kind of pressure.
But this is how our society just throw pressures at people.
Oh
Like
my
you see
God.
someone, you are not the mother-in-law even,
Oh my
you're not the
God.
husband, you don't know what they are
You have
going through,
nothing.
you don't know
You
if
don't
they are
know whether they even
waiting,
have
you
money. You
just
don't know if
feel
they're
worse
waiting.
at
You
them.
don't know anything. That was one of the most horrible things ever. That's why I feel I'm very empathetic when I hear for people who don't have babies. I'm very empathetic to them because I know how it can be. Like at least I don't know how it can be, but at least I had a waiting period and it was not funny, right? Like my dear, keep reading. I went over there to my son. I'm never ever coming to. Everybody came. They were begging me. What happened? What happened? What happened? Everyone was begging me. What happened? What did they say to you? What? I said, don't worry. Nobody should tell me. I know they come here again, but that it was
I can
crazy, right?
imagine.
I'm like, no way. I'm never coming here again. Anyway, but so what was the question? The question was no. So I didn't start all that, but I just just kept moving. But one of the things that really helped that I feel everybody should do is place of personal development. Personal development. Any woman that doesn't want to work is a lazy one. Thank you. Anyone that doesn't want to work is a lazy one. You don't have any excuse not to do something. At least be doing something now. Just try. Try small, 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 small. It doesn't have to be very big. It doesn't have to be massive. But even it's in doing that you now begin to see where the road is. It's in doing. You just have to just keep taking action. So that brings me to your question. I didn't start Hypertension Africa from initially. It was in doing. In fact, it was personal development. At some point, I felt like the world was moving past me, and everybody. You come to social media, everybody's sharing one great thing or the other they're doing. I wasn't doing any of that. I had just got married. I had to relocate after my masters. You know, I had to. And then eventually, of course, I took in, so I couldn't even work. I tried to apply for jobs and nobody wanted to have a baby. Nobody wanted you to come as a pregnant woman or come with a baby to the workplace and all that, right? But one thing that helped me was he was a friend. Also, the kind of friends you keep also play a role. It was this particular friend. She's based in the UK. That she saw this particular personal development program for women, and she just shared it with me. She's like, "Hey, Chichi, you should check this out." And I checked it out and I saw that they were, encouraging women to, still be able to fulfill their dreams. Because I'm sure you probably had a dream sometime beyond just something about you being someone in life. And that was I entered that particular personal development. It was a 30-day transformation challenge. 30-day DTC, 30-day transformation challenge that I entered. And that training just helped me. It was unraveling a lot of things. That whole thing of, oh, you're just stuck here, you're only going to be changing diapers, the world is moving past you. No. It helps me start to think of myself. They showed us different women doing great things. After you watch the lesson, you write about it, write about yourself, where you see yourself, and all those things. Those things we had books we're reading, we had videos we're watching, and all that. That helps to motivate me to, it's not over. And in time, I eventually got a job. I started my side business at the time. I started a network marketing business. It was in that, that through that training that I just kept, okay, I have to do something. I didn't have it. Okay, I started the network marketing business from home, even before I got a job. So I started all that, I started learning a whole lot of things. And it was in doing, taking action that lines started opening up for me. I continued doing my business when I got a job. I kept running both concurrently. I then started learning how to promote stuff online, how to do things. And I've learned a lot. So another lesson I'll leave with women and for everybody is no matter what stage you are in, even if you feel like everything, just learn. Learn a skill. Learn something. You never know where that thing you're learning is going to lead you. You never know what that little thing you're doing is going to blow up to. For me, I was just learning a whole lot. I wanted to be able to build something online. Even when I started my network marketing business, I was learning. I started following trainers online, started following white trainers that were teaching a whole lot of stuff. Focus on online, grow online. I started doing my business online. I started sharing a whole lot of Facebook, doing Facebook live. I was entering challenges. They would say, do live videos. I started doing live videos. I started doing it was in doing all those things, sharing that I found out that, people had issues with their health. The days I would share a video about health or high BP, people would respond a lot. Now, this is a big problem for people. No? That was actually how Hypertension Africa came. Nobody, it wasn't like I sat down and God revealed me it must be hypertension. No, it was in doing, taking little action. I told you now I started network marketing business. In fact, it was my father that gave me money to start that business. I didn't have money. I didn't even have capital to do that business, you know. But I just started. I went and looked for capital. He gave me that money. I'm like, okay, let me use it, And I just kept doing something because ultimately, don't sit still. That was how we grew it, and it has become Hypertension Africa. I went for different trainings. I learned, build a WordPress website. Do you guys know I built my WordPress website? I've built 2 websites myself. I know how to do all these things because I learned. So just be learning, and you never know what it could help you to achieve tomorrow. So women, no, don't don't relent. Personal development, read books. Even if you're in your waiting period, you don't have any job to do. When you watch TV small, when you watch Netflix small, carry one book and read by the side. Right now, I'm in one billionaire's flock. We're reading, we're learning things. I'm always in one challenge or the other where everybody's pushing themselves to become better. Your association really counts. If you're a housewife and you're only all those people that I want to be taken care of, there's nothing that's going to get you out of it. But if you're associating with women who are doing stuff, you would want to do stuff. If you're associating with men who are doing stuff, you also want to do it too. You don't want to be last. And there's this thing of that the average of your five closest friends. You are the average of your 5 closest friends. So think now, who are your closest friends? Are they doing, if you're not happy with the people who are your closest friends and their progress or what they're doing, then you're the average. You're never really going to grow past it. I do it from time to time. I write down the names of the people who are my closest friends. I'm like, okay, this person is doing this. This person is a multi-millionaire. This person is with this. This person is with that. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the right circle. So that will also help women and men. So I've told you a lot
Yeah,
of my
yeah.
story. I hope that this has been.
Yes. One thing that I really saw from what you said now is that you should just do it. Just do something, no matter how small, no matter what it looks like. You wake up in the morning, you are able to leave home, you are able to meet people, you're able to interact. There is something you are working on. The truth is, what you are working on now may not be what you are really going for, but it may lead you to open another door and then another
Mhm,
door until you hit
mhm,
that caution and
mhm.
something big comes of it. But you just have to keep on doing something, right? You just have to do something. You don't have to be at a point where you are there, just there, like I was saying, pigeon for daying sake. You're just daying there for daying sake. you know. So, but that is for people, for women who are already married. What about single ladies now? Who I have, I met some people, and I usually say that right now that you're single, you may not have anyone that you're feeding. If you think you have someone that you're feeding now, when you get married, the
Me too. You get
responsibility
married.
it doesn't reduce, it increases. Even if you're the one feeding your whole family now, you say, okay, once I get married now and I leave the family, it's going to get better. When you get married, it's going to be your family plus your husband's family, right? So the best time to start is now, whatever it is, such that before you are getting married, while you're waiting to get married, when you get married, you hit the ground running. Just imagine that you started your business already, then you're getting married, or you started your career already. Before you start, when you get married and start having babies, you already reach a point in your career where you can easily say, okay, I'm going on maternity leave for this period. I'm not going to be around for this period. Because you have attained a certain height, they can let you go for these things, or at least you can say, okay, I have worked for this period, I have saved amount of money, I can just resign from this job, nurse my baby, or maybe do my business why I nurse my baby, why I raise my kids. Or you can say, okay, if your business has already started, you can say, okay, now your business may have reached a point where you are able to, your business may have reached a point where you are able to now leave it to some persons to say,
Yeah.
okay, you run this while I will
That's
have to
okay.
take this 6 months off. I'm going to take this 3 months off
Yeah.
to take care of myself and my little one, right? It is easier that way. Unlike
Yeah.
when what I see many times is people come new marriages and they really want my services, coaching and counseling services, and I'm
Okay.
seeing that what they are going through is predictable. Even before they
Okay.
got married, you'd have seen that they will get to this point. Just that they didn't say it. But if I was the one talking with them, if I did prenuptials for them, I would have already told them, prepare their mind that this is how it's going to be. Because you're getting married now. This man is becoming a husband for the very first time in his life. If he has been having responsibilities, it has not been this way that he is directly responsible. Even his siblings have parents, so somehow it falls on the parents. He's helping his parents take care of his siblings. But now, for the very first time, someone is coming directly that she is your wife, and you have to be able to provide for her. It can really be. I'm a man. It can really be daunting for a man. Then for a woman too, she's becoming a wife for the very first time. She has never been a wife before. Maybe she has been a wife, or okay, that is if she's been married before. But many times she's been a wife for the very first time in her life, and she's trying to find
Yeah.
her way in the house. Like, okay, is this how what it means to be a wife? Is this what I'll be going through? Like, is this how
Mm.
we are going to be coping
To
as
me,
husband and
yeah.
wife? And at the same time, she has another challenge. She's been a mother for the very first time. She's getting pregnant for the very first time in her life. You know, pregnancy looks very fancy until you're the one carrying it. I learned this from my sister Queen. When she got pregnant recently, and
Okay.
I can't understand that. She didn't tell me, but this is my sister. My my baby sister, so to say. She's a woman now, but she's still my baby sister, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm I'm still trying to wrap my head around it that my sister is now a woman and has her own baby. Like it's not very easy for me to understand. But when she got pregnant, I saw what she was going through in this pregnancy, how she was going through with this pregnancy, and I was just thinking that ladies can actually think that pregnancy is very fancy until they're the ones carrying it.
Yeah.
It's not about going to
It
you're
comes with
taking
a lot of
pictures,
things.
and
I
it
guess
comes with a lot. It really
it
it
comes
really comes
with
with a lot. Yeah. Some
even with
persons
hypertension.
even swear. Some persons even okay, it even causes hypertension,
So
diabetes.
many
Some
women,
persons, yes.
so many women, their
Some are
babies
promising
come
that
with
after
pregnancy.
this one, I will never get pregnant again in my
Never.
life.
The promises we make in the labor
Okay,
room,
okay.
they
After this
swear.
one, I'm not doing it again. you know,
Ah,
but
because
she's
it's that
being
hard
pregnant
on the
for
body. Mm-hmm.
she's being pregnant for the very first time. She's being a mother for the very
Yeah.
first time. All these are daunting
Mhm.
challenges.
The pressure.
Then
Yeah.
you are adding being a businesswoman for the
Trying
very
to
first time,
figure out their
or being
business
a
or
career woman for
career.
the very first time to these ones that are already existing. Haba, it's really going to be challenging. So if a woman can, if a woman can start her business, start her career before she gets married, then at least she has one big challenge dropped. Now she knows that what she has to face is that she's a new wife and she's a new mother. It's easier. It's easier. I feel it's easier. Or what do you think? You think it's you think what do you think?
Yeah, so I totally agree. I love the way that you think through these things and you're able to kind of conceptualize them to say a woman has to think of, career, has to think of pregnancy, has to think of the role of being a wife. It's like three different hats she has to wear at the same
Hats.
time. So yeah, so if she could get one going so that she just has two new things to deal with at the same time. I believe that that's a great concept. That's a great concept that maybe you should push more with singles, like start your career, start your, I think that can be something you can push more as an ideology that want to get out there to the singles. I mean, with what you do with relationship counseling and all that counseling, I'm sure you've seen a fair share of how these things play out and how not figuring your career and your business even affects the stability of the marriage ultimately because finance is a big thing when it comes to marriage stability as well. There's this colloquial saying that no romance without finance. I totally agree. If you don't get if you don't fit,
Definitely.
no romance without finance. Yeah. So
That
if you
finance,
don't have
yes.
finance now, to fund the baby girl lifestyle that your wife
Mm.
wants is a problem. So but if that woman can even fund her baby girl lifestyle, it eases your stress as a man so that it's just very easy for you. So yes, you should definitely push it as a message for the younger, for the
You know this
singles.
music that they used to sing?
See,
They say love is sweet,
which
oh,
is
when
that?
money enter, love is sweeter.
I don't know that song. What song is
I
that?
said, yeah, I said that love is sweet, but when money comes, that love is sweeter. You know,
Oh yes, yes. Now it's when there's money that you now be
yeah,
buying all those gifts that the woman will be saying, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." If there's no money now, which gosh? Oh my word! Drink your curry in peace. Eat
that's
your
it.
make in peace.
And there's
Yeah.
something you have said today. You said that that what if, God forbid, what if this man just drops dead?
Yeah, that's one thing we don't think about. Nobody thinks about it. We don't ever want to think about it. We don't want to pray about it. We don't want to believe it. But may God forbid it for every one of us too. But these are eventualities in life. So one just has to also prepare for that. So when men
Okay,
even the men that tell their wives not to work, how about something happens? So I think there's this particular group I belong to. Someone shared something like that. Okay, no, it wasn't the group. It was another lady on Facebook here. She shared something like that. The man stopped the woman specifically from working. The man stopped, burnt her certificate, like he burnt the certificate. The woman tried her best. At the end of the thing, the man now died this year. Why are you laughing? You don't need to be crying.
we have to open that matter on that day.
No, we
I
have to
think we
open it
should just
another day. Yeah, please
we
let's
should
open it
open because
another
our
day.
time is fast spent. We should
Yes,
open
please.
that
Yes,
matter
please.
another day. But
Yeah, we
but
should.
really,
Oh, yeah.
but I think that's just the height of I don't want to say that I don't want to say that that man is narcissistic. I don't want to say he's narcissistic. I don't want to say that, but this is the height of arrogance. You believe that you can handle it. You don't want her to work. If 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 it's an agreement like she also doesn't want to work, and you're saying, okay, let's not work. Um, let's. I want you to take care of our kids while I work. I'm going to pay you this amount of money. Even at that, there are things she can do at home. There are so many things she can
Mhm.
do from home. You understand? So she can still do a lot of things from home. But now there's a purpose for that. I want you to take care of the kids. We prefer that you stay home, take care of the kids while I work. It's an arrangement, a different ballgame. But for some men, they want their wives not to work because they believe that if she has more money than they do, the marriage is going
Okay. So what's going on? So what's going on? Okay. So Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I looks like I'm the only one here now. So yeah, so that particular matter, he says we're going to talk about it some other time. Or I mean he's maybe on another deep conversation. Maybe he will handle it, maybe with another guest, and that's fine. I'd really appreciate it if you have comments, if you have questions, if you have reactions. For everyone who's been dropping their comments and reactions, we really appreciate it. Thank you for joining in these deep conversations. I hope that these conversations have got you thinking about some of these things if you haven't given them a lot of thought. And we hope that the conversations have kind of helped to shape your own at least to have you think more about some of these things and what you would take as your own personal belief system and your own personal way of handling these matters and making decisions for your life, for your marriage, and all that. I'm really excited about this conversation, and I hope that it has sparked us up in you some thoughts around your own relationship and how you want to carry on your life. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why Dr. Andrew is not here anymore. I hope that he's able to join in the next couple of minutes so that we can wrap up the session. It's really been an insightful one. Please drop your questions below. I'll try to see if I can see your questions. Has this been helpful to you? What's your greatest takeaway? What's your light bulb moment? What's your biggest win? What's your aha moment from these thoughts? Um, Also, what would you need help with? Specific help with? Do you feel like, oh, okay, so I need help navigating this thing, but I need help with answers around these things? It'll be great if it'll be great if you need help around answers around these things. Maybe you can reach out to him. That's the son. He's the relationship person that you want to talk to. If you're a woman and you maybe I don't know. I personally don't do relationship counseling, but I love to share my story and hope that it can inspire you. So if you feel like you want to connect and maybe ask a question, I'll be glad to do that. Hi, Dr. Lu, what happened? We lost you for a bit. So I've been talking. I've been trying to wrap up. So I was just telling them if they had questions, they would drop it in the comments. If they have aha moments, light bulb moments, it'd be great to have them in the comments. Then if they wanted to connect, they can always connect. And for me, I told them I'm not a relationship coach. Oh. You are the relationship person, the one I talk to. For me, but if your
So
relationship is giving you
network
BP
knocked you
wahala,
out.
that's where I come in. Oh, network knocked you out. Sorry about that.
Okay, it's all right. I think we should wrap this up. If they have
Yes,
questions, if
please.
there are no questions, I think we should just have to go. Thank you to everyone who came through today. And thank you so much, pharmacist Chibuamam Ilechuku. You know, I really try to um, pronounce your name with so much caution so that I don't.
Network has nothing else again. What's happening? Okay, you're back. We hear you. What's going on? If you unmute yourself, I believe that if you unmute yourself. Are you able to unmute yourself? Okay, so we're not able to hear you, or I definitely am not able to hear you. Ooh, anyway, thank God all this is happening towards the end, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, so yeah, if you leave and rejoin, maybe we'll be able to hear you better. All right, guys. Um, not here, I'll just say, if you want to connect, hypertensionafrica.com, that's our website. That's if you want to learn more about what we do, you can find us on hypertensionafrica.com. The Sunday, I've signed out, so
Yeah,
far, finish up our
hypertension
signing
Africa.
.com, or just connect on Facebook or anywhere. YouTube, if you're seeing this on YouTube, we have Hypertension Africa TV too. So.
Yeah, it's okay. So connect with Hypertension Africa, and we will see you next time. I will see you next time. Please, thank you so much for coming to Thomas's Chibomami Lechuku. Please, I invite you next time. Hope you come.
No problem. I had a good time. I had a good time sharing. I can't see the comments. I hope that I hope people enjoyed the conversation, this deep conversation. Um, I hardly share all this kind of stuff on my timeline, so this is great. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vigali Banu. I like that name.
It's an Ogoni name, I think. It's an Ogoni name from River State.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. But it was good. It was good. It was good. Yeah, we should do this some other time. It was
Okay,
good. I enjoyed
so,
myself.
so let's do this again. Yeah, there was a topic you were trying to raise, and I said, let's talk about this. So maybe let's find time to also talk about that. Okay?
Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
so since there are no questions, I think we should just end this now. So we spent exactly 1 hour, 30 minutes. And that's beautiful. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for viewing and for sharing your thoughts. From me to you is, yeah. So, bye.